Hello, Project Lit. Um, it's me again. I'm back. I'm back for good. It's a good start. End with silence. Yes. Over the past however long, I've been doing like uni work. So I've had to do like my dissertation and essays and things like that. So I haven't really had time to do a video. In fact, all I've done is live and breathe uni, library, and I had exams, had revision to do as well, so I haven't been there. I don't know what's going on with this camera. It keeps zooming in and zooming out, so hopefully it doesn't get too close. So yeah, I haven't been here. I was going to do a thing today about Dracula, because everyone likes a bit of Bram Stoker, but I couldn't find the book. And I have it here somewhere because it's a particular copy, because I bought it because the woman who wrote The Historian... I can do The Historian, let's do that. Okay, here we have The Historian. And cue some epic camera movement that I don't quite understand is going on. But yes, this book... Oh, look, we can zoom in, I think. Yes, anyway. This book made me really enjoy the Dracula myth. And whilst I'm not a big fan of let's fall in love with vampires and be all Twilighty with it, I really loved this book. It wasn't the first book that I had read that was first person, but just everything about it. I think I picked it up in Smith's one day, and I just started reading the front page, and it's just everything about it. I mean, if I find the front page. It shouldn't be too hard, it's at the front. The story that follows is one I never intended to commit to paper. Recently, however, a shock of sorts has prompted me to look back at the most troubling episodes of my life and of the lives of the several people I loved best. Yada yada yada. It's so intriguing that I just had to keep reading, and it's one of those books that you might get an answer to a question, but then you have 7 more questions to answer afterwards, and just the intrigue kept me throughout the entire book. It did something for me that, like, other books didn't. So say, whilst I really enjoy reading Harry Potter, for instance, and the amount of questions you had, and wanting to read the next book, or like find out just some of the things that had been like gleaned from the book, that whether it was like Order of the Phoenix or Half-Blood Prince or whatever. This book was just fantastic in all of those regards. It had something that really got me into first-person horror novels, and sort of from reading The Historian, I went into reading. I started reading classic sci-fi. So you've got things like Strangers in Strange Land, and what else have we got? We've got like H.G. Wells. At the moment, I'm really into my H.G. Wells. I've read War of the Worlds, and I have also read The Time Machine, which is like the skinniest little book. But yeah, reading that there is something about that. What else? I'm gonna be reading the first Men on the Moon as well. That's that H.G. Wells book, which is quite interesting because at the time it was like, no one's ever going to walk on the moon, no one's ever going to be, this is us, this is the moon, look, humans are going to colonise it. And whilst the colonising bit still hasn't quite happened, obviously you can't really colonise somewhere that doesn't have an atmosphere unless you can find a way to generate a self-generating atmosphere or whatever. It's just interesting in the fact that whilst it might seem outrageous now, it seems like one of the classic steps into sci-fi genre. And there's just something about it. I mean, I haven't read things like, I don't know, like the big epic battles and Dune and things like that. I want to read Dune, by the way, but I haven't read them, and they're like, to me, there's 2 types of sci-fi that I associate with it. You've got like classic sci-fi, or you've got sci-fi like Star Wars book form. And to be honest, I'd rather read the classic stuff rather than the Star Warsy type stuff. But that's just me. I should probably finish this because it's actually quite long. But yeah, back. Little chat about the historian. And now I've got to figure out how to use Windows Movie Maker because it's changed. I intend to also show you at some point my dissertation and the 2007 novel I wrote, which I know isn't quite proper like lit stuff, but it's still lit stuff. And that is all from me. What's going on with